Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is DFree, and for today's video, we're answering the hot question of does LF, Vegito Blue, Legends Limited, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegito, nope, we're going back. Does Vegito Blue need a Zenkai in Dragon Ball Legends? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Today's video like goal for the 2-year anniversary headliner, the man himself that destroyed the game for so many people, gave so many people bad memories and PTSD. We're getting 2,000 likes, boys. Thank you so much for helping us hit our goal in advance, and also thank you so much for tuning in. So to answer the question in the literal, easy, quick, and way to explain it, just based on the natural definition of does a character need a Zenkai? Yes. That may not be what you want to hear. Let me explain. But yes, he deserves a Zenkai. I mean, well, needs a Zenkai. Excuse me. Let me not say deserve, because that's another thing entirely. He needs a Zenkai. He's 2 years old. His stats are power crept. Honestly, his abilities are power crept. But I recently did a video. It was about 27 minutes long. Check it out. Watch however much of it that you want to watch, obviously. I'll leave it down below where I showcase this guy. And I left that video thinking that at least at my star level with my equips, everybody's situation is a little different. That I didn't think he naturally really needed a Zenkai personally in terms of the way he was functioning. I know that's contradictory. Again, let me explain. In terms of the natural meaning, like I said, the stats are low or a little bit lower than average, things like that by today's standards. But he can still function with the way that his kit is designed to where outside of the idea of being power crept, he is still a serviceable character to use. And I think that maybe if they give him something like a platinum equip similar to this, where you get all these extra stats, right? And it's crazy seeing how the 3rd anniversary character, by the way, got something like this. Think about that. My goodness. And then also the 3rd slot. This 3rd slot showed us they can do whatever the hell they want to do. This was the first of its kind. Since then, Cell got an equip like this too, which is crazy good. They got the 2 best equips in the game by far. And what if they were to say, oh yeah, 3rd slot, give Vegito Blue draw speed for 20 counts on entry, something stupid like that as an example. Would that not help revive some of his usage? Certainly it would. Now, the reason why I would say that he needs a overall Zenkai, again, outside of what I was talking about, would just be to touch up his kit. Because, I mean, if you look at even some of the Zenkais that came out over the last, 6 months, like this guy or like Zamasu, they're both here, they really didn't get the craziest updates, right? They didn't change a ton to their kit. There were some minor tweaks, but it was mainly just giving these characters a stat upgrade to make them more relevant. Also, you see the stat upgrade on page here. This guy's stats are a good bit higher than Vegito's. He's got almost 20k, or the other Vegito, he's got almost 20k more strike attack, for example. But you also can see the Zenkai characters also get this too. This is another stat increase. This is part of why Zenkai characters are so powerful, or especially were when their kits were really crazy. But LF Zenkais are okay. They're okay. So anyways, yeah, so they didn't really do a ton here, even on the new passives. I mean, this is good stuff, but it's not anything game breaking, right? So that's kind of what we have here for these characters. They try to just patch deficiencies. So on the topic of Vegito Blue, I don't think he vaults himself into being a top 10 character in the game personally, unless he winds up being better than Trunks, I guess, maybe. But it's going to be kind of tough for him. And part of the reason why I think that they're doing this, instead of just giving him a platinum equip, which again, so weird to see how the order that they handle these Zenkais and stuff like that for these LFs and the equips and stuff they give them. Like, how does Full Power Frieza have an equip? And this guy, Gogeta, has an equip, but this guy doesn't even have a Zenkai or an equip. Like, it's so interesting to see the order that they handle them in, but it really shows you that they were scared of Vegito Blue. And they kind of did something similar, for the record, to Goten's Zenkai. If you notice, there's a character here in this guy who's going to be on probably the most common version of a Vegito Blue team. Not the best, but the most common would probably be Fusion Warrior, because everybody wants to run their shiny fusions. And he has a direct competition, and I don't think there's anything they can do at all to make the Vegito Zenkai better than Super Gogeta. Super Gogeta is a treasure, man. This dude is a menace. I can't say enough good things about him. You might have thought he fell off. If that was you, I'm sorry. He did not. He did not. Hear me. I'll say it again. He did not. This dude is still a freaking problem, okay? So that being said, I don't know if there's anything they can do realistically, within reason, with what they've been doing, especially lately on Zenkais, that would make Vegito Blue better. Because they do a lot of the same things with the card draws and stuff like that. Vegito having the force draw, but then you have the ability of the Gogeta to also end the combo on that freaking destroying blue, and the Vegeta, or the Gogeta doing that, and then the Gogeta also having a lot more access to nullifying covers. Vegeta only has an ultimate activation. Shout out to Purple Bojack. There are different things in there. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I just don't see it as a possibility so they felt comfortable doing the Zenkai. And I mentioned purple Goten because if you notice, hybrids were a huge problem. Nobody wanted to see anybody get a hybrid, but they purposely waited until after they dropped a purple hybrid in Revive Gohan that Goten was basically never going to surpass, right? They're on the same teams too, movies and hybrids and Sun. It just wasn't going to happen, right? So I guess that's why they kind of did this. So talking about teams, we'll talk a little bit about Vegito's kit in a moment. And again, if you haven't seen the showcase video, check it out. The link is down below because this is clearly, as you see, not a showcase video. So yeah, if you enjoy these videos, again, hit that thumbs up. Anyways, so I talked about Gogeta. I could go on and on for 10 minutes about Gogeta and just what he does. So let me just show you one thing in particular. And what I want to show you is just the walls of text here, right? Vegito Blue also has walls of text, mind you. But it's what's within the text. That's the problem, right? This dude, let me just say something. This dude, you can't even rush him. Because when you try to rush him, he shortens his own sub count so he can escape, right? He does 2 times no switching. He goes neutral. He's got natural draw speed. He's got 100% damage inflicted. That was hilarious to see for the first time. He just draws the cards. His green card does a lot of the things that Vegito's does, actually, but it's not a combo starter. But it does actually also, again, nullify special covers. There's that. He has 2 ultimates, by the way. He draws an ultimate a second time. Oh, yeah, his ultimate is a 30-second nullify endurance. It's just, I don't see it. But this is a list, technically, of all the characters on the same teams as Vegito between Saiyans, which I don't really care about. Saiyans is irrelevant. But you have Fusion Warrior, Future, and God Key mainly, which, if you look at God Key specifically, God Key is probably his best bet of breaking in because there's not really any competition. Like, there's not a ton of competition there. Like, I don't have Beerus. I think he's the only real competition between God Key Blue characters. Yeah, it's Beerus. I mean, you can make an argument for some of these characters, I guess, but it's just Beerus. So God Key is where he would have no real issue. He would slide in. It just kind of depends what team you're trying to run, basically. But on Future, you do have another character that's competition for him in Trunks. So Trunks is a character I see a lot of mixed opinions on. I see people say Trunks is as good as top 15, which I don't really think is debatable too much. I think he's in that area. But some people say he's in the top 10, things like that. I recently did a video of my top 10. I acknowledge that Trunks should have been on my honorable mention list, but I'll say that I don't think my honorable mention list really was a problem. And the reason why is because I was trying to keep the list short and sweet. I wasn't saying those are the only characters that deserve to be there. There's another 10 characters that could have been on our honorable mentions, right? Like, you know? So like, it's kind of how it is. And Trunks is a very powerful character, and I'll give Trunks credit for this too. With the gauge, which it's funny that Gogeta and this guy both have gauge, and they're both direct competition. But Trunks has access to the endurance too. He's got a lot of things in his kit that are very valuable and powerful. And then also, if you take a look at his ultimate, as a last man, he has the ability to go neutral there too. It's just, and he has one of the hardest hitting ults in the game as well. He is just a character that is very powerful and maybe a little underrated by today's standards, right? And he's on Future, which, again, that's the team that we're talking about. But Future, I want to just give you guys some context about Future right now and kind of explain what's going on with Future. Because if you thought Future fell off as well, this is another scenario where you're probably a little wrong. And let me say why. So I don't have the androids, right? So there's that. I need to go and get them, but I'm just kind of whatever. I don't have the androids. But the android, or this team, excuse me, outside of the androids, has some really damn good characters, seriously. They really do. Cell with his equip is a menace, somewhere in the top 10 in the game. Incredible character. Trust me, the dude is a monster. This guy, I don't know what they were thinking with this dude. He's a free character, by the way. I didn't even finish a full power battle. I wish I did, because they apparently never rerun these events, by the way. Anyways, this dude is a menace. But outside of those two, you have, again, one of those blues is going to be one of the characters you're using. You have the Zenkai Vegeta down here, who is, again, in my opinion, a top 10 character. The lock is just too good. Like, Future has insanely powerful characters still. So the real question is, like, how is he going to compete with Trunks? Because I genuinely don't see it on Fusion Warrior. Unless you're going blue, I just don't see it as a possibility. So let's talk about, to wrap things up, changes and tweaks to his kit that would make him better, right? He needs at least 10K and pretty much all these stats, maybe 5 in some of them, like the defense is to be relevant, I guess. But the offensive numbers are just too low. It is what it is. Also, if we take a look at the main ability, let's break this down. Destroys one of your cards, forces the ult in. That's pretty good. It also is sometimes annoying, I'll say. That effect is sometimes annoying because sometimes it'll destroy the card you don't want it to destroy, but I digress. Health and ki, very good. 40% damage for 20 counts. Just make that either 50 or just make it non-cancelable because why not? 20% cut for 20 counts. Again, just kind of whatever, just a short amount of time. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. 50% damage and 30% cut. For 15 counts. Again, I don't know what the counts is for anymore. Just give him non-cancelable. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just, it is what it is. Nullifies attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. So he has immunities. That's very good. Very, very good. Draws a green card next once on entry. So his green is a combo starter. Again, I said it's very similar to the Gogetas. But one thing I'll say is I know he has it on the ultimate. But if they give this card the ability to do something like the Ultra Gogeta's effect where he nullifies covers for just a... Now, let me just say this. I feel like, for the record, all AoE green cards coming out need to be like Oops, where they nullify cover for just like 3 seconds. But even if this gets that type of effect, or just for a few seconds, that's fine, just so you can use something directly after. It feels so bad. Like, oh, let me throw Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta out there. Who doesn't, right? Like, it feels so bad to use these stupid combo starter green cards, and you're stuck because they could just instantly switch out. You got to try to play cute around it, play like drop combo, things like that, or just whatever. Like, it feels really bad. It's at a point in this game where all these characters need to really, really be good. They almost all need access to that mechanic in some way, and I think adding it here would be perfect, even though it's on the ultimate. Or on the main is good too, I guess, whatever. On entry, like, you could put it anywhere. But at least having it here because he force draws this would be very helpful. Or something like Merge Zamasu, where it's just a few counts. You know, that's fine too, because they won't be able to switch. It's the same thing, effectively. His blue, by the way, still doing no switches. Whoo, boy, this is going to do a lot of damage. This is a lock and kill. You're going to have to go back to playing in advance. If you think they got a blue card, you better watch out, man. You better watch out. You know, a fun thing to do will be to use him on a team with the Gogeta, and I'll give this credit, and just switch in at the end of the Gogeta combo and just use the blue card you just drew with this guy instead. Screw destroying your hand, but I can maybe just kill your character. So there's that. We're going to go ahead and come down here. So reduces damage, all that stuff. He has a knockback versus blast that combos into blues, plus damage against fusion warriors. And now he has these specific buffs, and this is very similar to Purple Super Vegito, basically. But applies falling effects itself every time when faced with an enemy, depending on their battle style. If it's a melee character, you get more melee damage. Blast character, you get more blast damage. Blah blah, so on and so forth. So this is dependent on who your versus, as you see. If your opponent is switching, you'll get multiple of these technically, but it'll switch depending on who they go to. And I do like how the defense one is just like, nope, sorry, sustained damage cut down. So you can't even really try to mitigate his damage all that great. And then this is the best thing that's aged well in his kit right here. So whenever he lands a strike, he draws a strike card next twice. This resets when he switches out and restores his ki by 5. And then he does the health restoration debuff, which is actually still insanely good too. Even if it's only for a few counts, it's still insanely good. So if we take a look at it, really the only thing he truly needs is access to that special cover change more often. And that's why I said that, like, I thought that maybe giving him access to some sort of equip that did that would be fine. And then also another thing they could do is they could give him on entry. I don't think he had the on entry key gain. That's something that you have to have as a staple on most characters. Yeah, give him plus 20 key on entry. Another thing to help shore up his playstyle. Okay, he already gets the green card. At least give him enough key to use the green card, right? And then he'll start picking up those strikes. He'll start offsetting the cost of the key with the key that he gains on using the strike. If you want to be cute, you can add a unique, or not unique, a passive similar to Purple Super Vegito's, where you actually get cost down at the bottom here. So 3 card cost down. That would just help him so much with being able to combo and combo longer. But that's pretty much it, man. There's not really a ton that he truly needs to be relevant. And I'll wrap it up with that. And is that enough to jump him, even with the stats and all that stuff? Is that enough to jump him up to being better than Ultra Gogeta? I just don't see it. But what about Trunks? I'll leave that to you guys. Do you think he would be better than Trunks with just the changes I laid out? Obviously, there is more they could do. I'm curious to see what they wind up doing, because like Zenkai's of late, they haven't really done much. Like, this guy came out at the same time. His stats obviously got upgraded, but they didn't do a ton here. Like, they really didn't. So I'm curious to see what they do. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I'll leave that video down below, like I said, to check out and watch the showcase. It might even be on the screen currently. Click it before you go. Have an awesome day, and I'll see all of you in the next one.